Like, someone can punch him in the face. There's bowling balls right there. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Weak Hero. We're now on to episode 6. So in the last episode, we saw that unfortunately Baku, aka Human, has decided to give in to Baekjin's demands. This was after Baekjin basically flexed his ability to completely mess with Baku's life, from his friends to his dad. He just kind of felt like there was no way that he can manage all of this on his own. So we see, unfortunately, that he did start to work for Baekjin, but it's definitely making him sick to his stomach. And it's very funny because on the one hand, he's trying to, do the muscle work, but he's also apologizing and trying to pay for these people's medical expenses afterwards. So yeah, his heart's not in it in any way, shape, or form. On the other side of things, Shion was very close to going abroad to study. His mom became tired of seeing that he was clearly being in some way harassed, and he almost gave in and decided to go to placate her. But thankfully, he got a call from Juntae basically expressing that he and Gotak and Baku all basically understood him, truly understood him, understood why he was the way he was, liked him anyways, and gave him the most important speech he needed to hear, which is that they don't think it's his fault of what happened to Suho, that it was just a matter of bad luck, and that just it's no one to blame. He just needs to move forward. So we saw the first real emotion come from Shion for this whole season at least, but I think it's probably the first time in a long time he finally started to deal with those emotions. So he decided he does not want to leave Korea, and I don't think his mom has any idea what's going on, but I do think he's made up his mind now to help Baku, because out of all the guys, I think he understands Baku the most and why Baku is withdrawing for them the way that he is. So I'm ready to jump into this episode and see whether or not he's ready to get in there and start backing him up so we can start smacking these bullies around. Oh, and Sungjae, the psycho, is finally out of play, because I guess getting stabbed in the foot by a crazy student was enough to make him rethink things. So with that said, let's jump into the episode. Just before I do though, if you'd like to be in the know when I drop episodes, please hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And you can also catch a full uncut reaction of this on my Patreon. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
너 유학 안 가? 진짜?
The only thing I want in this world is for Shion to get some chapstick.
자기 때문에 괜히 피해 본다고 생각하니까.
Partly. His dad was a big part of it.
이 새끼 이거 눈깔이 왜 이러냐?
God, what's with all the smoking? Baku's gonna take it because he feels like he deserves it. Night night. Nothing to say? Nothing to say? Oh, what? You guys released the Kraken. You should be happy, no? Why are y'all touching me? Yeah, exactly. Isn't it what you wanted? Blood money.
전에 말했잖아. 과징금 나올 거라고.
That you... Okay.
어쩌다 이렇게 됐냐?
He's clearly nothing. Can we move on? Oh. Wow. It's a memory?
죽어 임마! 왜 말려?
Yeah, see?
다 너한테 배운 건데.
You learn nothing from him. Clearly. Nothing. So that's why you feel guilty towards this guy? No, Baekjin is crazy from the get-go. You had nothing to do with that, bruh. It's seeming like the biggest mistake you made was not letting it get his ass whooped in school. Maybe if you had left him, they would have sent him someplace special, with padded walls.
내가 말했잖아. 있을 리가 없다고.
Oh, is Appa's here?
아, 그게 후민이 집에 안 들어온 지는
Maybe when you
얼마나 됐나요?
once again are a complete jerk. I love that Shion does not even try to sugarcoat things.
와서 탁 튀기는 거나 배우라 그래. 아이고, 씨, 그 병신 같은
Wow,
새끼.
with that warm invitation, I can't imagine why he doesn't want to come home.
아버님께 뭘 잘못했나요?
Thank you. Ask him. What did this kid do to you to deserve this?
학교에서 후민이는요.
Thank you.
정신 나간 애도 병신 같은 새끼도 아니에요.
Period. So what did he do?
제가 생각하기엔
후민이가 문제가 아니라
Thank you.
아버님이 문제이신 것 같은데요.
Clear as day. Someone needs to talk to you.
나가 이 새끼들아 이씨.
Make me.
아, 그니까 내가 오지 말자고 했잖아.
Why? That man needed to hear that.
왜 후민이가 필요한 걸까?
Exactly. Thank you. Start asking that
둘이
question.
예전에 친구였었다 했지.
Were they friends? Looks to me like Big Jin was using him.
나는 이제 절대 쌈질 같은 거 누구한테나 알려주지 않는다.
Man, talk about your Anakin Skywalker story, hey? Teach him hoping he'll defend himself and he turns into the devil.
어디 있는지 알아?
아 그걸 내가 어떻게 알아? 아 그리고 내가 그걸 알아도 너한테 그걸 왜 말을 해?
Hello Kitty blanket? Really?
그러니까 알려줘라. 바구 어디 있는지.
Since you stalk the Union so much.
아무것도 아닌 게
Okay, sure.
그런 거 하는 거 몰라가지고.
Why would he? He's a straight A student, not a criminal.
우선 볼링장.
Oh, we're learning about the Union now? Wow, this guy's finally going to become somewhat useful.
대정바이크 거긴 뭐 하는데?
Indeed.
그 미친 놈들이
The way he's so happy to have someone to talk to again.
복사키 떠놓은 다음에 나중에 가서
Damn, you drive such a nice bike and you leave that out?
뒤에서 경찰이 눈 감아준다는 얘기도 그게 좀 있어.
Wow, what is the point of police?
연합애들은 왜 나백지 밑에서 일을 해?
Exactly.
그거 몇 개 뛰고서 씨발 몇 백씩 챙겨주는데 애새끼들 눈가에 막 돌아가는 거야. 어?
Oh, those punks like you didn't do the same thing?
너네 뭐 나백진 한번 깔라고?
Go back to sleep. Grab your Hello Kitty blanket and go back to sleep, please.
야 진짜 씨발 애들을 모을까 지금? 어?
네 돈 필요 없어.
Right? He's like, respectfully, no. You're gonna have Big Jin knowing all of our business in a matter of hours. He's probably still going to anyway. But they needed that info. Unfortunately, there's no other one to give it to them.
왜?
뭐?
Period. The nerds don't respect you anymore. They never did. They were just scared.
그러다가 또 싸우고 다치려고?
Exactly. We gotta do with this smart.
일단 아무것도 하지 마.
It's time to think right now.
생각해둔 게 있어.
Thank you. You are a good kid. I would not have given him a penny of that. I mean, I know he didn't actually ask to get the charges or the fine, but
훔쳐.
hmm.
계속 네 주위 사람들 지키고 싶으면.
Yeah, that's gonna be the hook he's gonna use for the rest of your life, bro. You're gonna have to get out of this. He will have you committing murder before long. There's no soul in that husk.
저 새끼가 지난번에 금성재 제낀 새끼예요.
Beat up Sungjae.
제가?
Yeah, that guy. Oh my god, so many punchable faces.
반갑다 야. 악수 한번 하자.
I don't want to touch you.
나백진 어딨어?
I asked a question.
야, 일단 찾아나 보자고. 어?
여기 맞는 거 같은데?
She had asked you to do one thing. One thing. Hana. And you couldn't do it. Just sit still. That's all he asked.
우리 시연이 말 듣는 게
Thank
낫지
you.
않을까?
Juntae, you have a brain of your own.
우리가 뭐라도 해야지.
And what is that thing? What are you gonna do?
야씨, 너 왜 이렇게 무거워?
He's a grown boy. What do you expect? Either steal or answer the phone. I'm having snacks. He's like, well, since we're on a stakeout.
야, 바꾸 안에 없는 거 같아. 일단 나가서 생각하자. 다가.
Juntae, if you seem acting dumb, you gotta leave some people sometimes. No!
됐어. 야, 여기서
I can't even be upset if y'all get your asses beat this time, because clearly y'all don't feel enough pain.
또 바꿀 거야? 바꾸고. 아씨,
How do you know his underwear? You know what? That's not my business.
저 맞는 거 같은데? 야, 준태야.
No. No. Like, how does he find these people? How do these people? Okay.
장학금까지 받는 모범생이 연합이다 보다 이렇게까지 범죄를 저지르면서 돈을 모으는 건
Because he's nothing.
너에 대해 온전히 알고 있는 후민이가
Like how weak you are.
유일한 친구라고 생각하니까.
You He read you like a book, son. Bet you thought he was mysterious.
바쿠도 널 친구라고 생각할까?
He doesn't, and that eats you up. Cause you're nothing.
우리 애들 이제 곧 도착할걸?
Yeah. Remember, this guy's taught by Baku, and you've never fought Baku. Hey, Baku, he's breaking his promise. He's hurting your friends.
나와.
Like, someone can punch him in the face. There's bowling balls right there.
고현탁이랑 준태 대성 바이크에
They're
있어.
about to get killed.
현신 너 먼저 가 있어.
But I want to watch you commit the murders.
바이크 안 훔쳤는데.
That's what having a backbone
네 마음대로 해.
looks like.
내가 이번에 정확히 알았는데
What'd you realize?
너랑 나랑은 존나 안 맞아.
Exactly, because you're nothing.
그러니까 서로 모른 척하면서 살자.
Dumped again. Ugh, embarrassing. For you. Like, what did you think was going to happen? How did you think this was going to go? He was just going to suddenly want to be a sewer dweller like you?
바이크 훔쳐서 판 내역 같은데 이거 가지고 경찰에 신고하면 연합도 망하고.
This is a list. This doesn't mean anything. Your pants, sir? Yep. Just take the beating. You both deserve it. I just realized this is where they went after Sunjay got out of jail. Okay, camera work. Is he fighting for the bag in the background? Did I see that right? Okay, Juntae. I'll give you props. You tried.
준태야, 너 괜찮아?
He's fine. But now you about to both get beat because these two. Nope. He's been watching you. Which you clearly didn't pay attention to. He's gonna break your leg, bro. Stop kicking. Yeah, your knee.
씨발 새끼 눈깔 봐라.
What's up with your obsession with people's eyes? Okay, Juntae! Oh my god! He probably get beat for it, but you know what? Solid performance. Solid. Really? Y'all couldn't have. Okay. Keep running. What are you looking at? Eyes forward. Poor Shion's like, ever since I've come to this school, so much cardio. He's like, I am smart. I am not an athlete.
아, 여기 성강대병원인데요.
Why?
지금 안소 환자분이 위급한 상태인데 연락되는 사람 아니면 대신 와주실 수 있을까요? 여보세요? 여보세요?
Talk about an actual crossroads. Bro, you know where your brakes are. Okay, can we talk about how in Korea, apparently cars on the street don't stop when they see humans standing there? Because every K-drama that I've seen, like, they will be honking and they will be like a good 6 car lengths away, and somehow they just can't find the brake pedal when someone's standing there. Because I don't know where I come from. If you see someone well and good in the road, you don't just keep going. You know, you stop. Because, you know, most, you know, here it's illegal to run over people. It's illegal to do that. Apparently not so much in South Korea. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. Poor Shion. What a choice. What a choice. Suo, his friend, this person he's attached so much emotional weight to, or his new friends who are very most likely going to be very, very badly hurt. What's the right choice? Critical condition for Suo. Yeah, I mean, they did say it was highly unlikely he was going to come out of that coma. All right, let's roll it back. This episode was a little bit more about, you know, what I predicted was going to happen, in that Shion is locking in now to saving and protecting all of his new friends, right? If all the walls are down, he's no longer fighting the fact that he cares about these guys, that he likes having friends. And as a result, he knows that the only person missing from their, new little, what do you call it? It was a trio and now it's a quadro. Yeah, we'll call it that. Um, it's a quartet. There we go. This new quartet. And the only one missing is Baku. And he knows why, right? As I said, I think that despite the fact that Shien's known Baku the least out of this group, I think he understands Baku the most. Just in the sense of his sense of duty and the kind of person that he is, and the fact that a lot of the way he acts and what he does is for the purposes of protecting the people he cares about, protecting himself to a degree as well, and also just trying to not focus on how some aspects of his life are pretty crappy, i.e. his home life. And so, yeah, we see that. I love that Shien also is just not a small talker at all. Like, the guys are trying to chat him up and stuff, and he's like, anyways, where's Baku? Anyways, where is he? He joined the Union, right? Where do we find him? How do we get him? Right? Just Shien's very laser focused. He just wants to get to Baku and, basically let him know that he's ready to do what he needs to do to deal with the situation. Baku doesn't have to shoulder it alone, right? And we see that he has a very interesting moment because they go to his house and Baku's not there because we saw that him and his dad had a falling out again. And his dad tries to blame everything on Baku, right? Oh, he's lazy. Oh, we tell him if he cuts back here, he can fry some chicken. Oh, he's like his mom. I don't know. So don't know what happened to the mom. That's the first mention we've heard of her. My guess is that she got tired of living with an alcoholic. Not very fair to Baku, I guess, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But anyways, I love that Shien finally told this man about himself, right? Basically said, yeah, no, you're telling me that Baku is useless and that he's rude and all these things. He's like, I've watched him because Shien does a lot of perceiving. He watches people very closely, his own self. And he's like, no, he's none of those things. He's kind. He protects his friends. He's respectful. He's good at school. Yes, he's had some trouble, but that's always been in service of others. So that's clearly he's not the issue here. I think it might be you. You who's day drinking, offering minors alcohol after you just got fined for doing the same thing. He didn't, but still, I think you're the problem, right? So of course, homie was gagged because he knew it was true. Threw them out, but I'm glad that Shien told him that because I think he needed to hear that from somebody bluntly, to the point, no chaser, no sugarcoating. He needed to hear it. Because if Baku does get out of this, if he wants to have any hope of a relationship with his son, he needs to fix himself as well. He needs to recognize that he absolutely is a problem in that relationship. But anyway, since that didn't go anywhere, they went to the old bully, the wannabe bully from the earlier in the season, who, of course, hiding under a Hello Kitty blanket in shame after getting his butt whopped. That man got molly-whopped so many times. Anyway, he thankfully turned out to be useful for the first time in this whole series by telling them about more of the operation the Union had going on. At least that was helpful because I don't think the boys would have been able to figure it out any other way. The Union guys definitely weren't going to tell them. And because Shien was like, okay, let me figure out some things. Let me get some things in place. Let me understand our opponent a bit better before we go in. But unfortunately, Gotak, and we heard this, right? Human is saying that Gotak this has always been the problem with him. He's just too impulsive. He doesn't think. He rushes headlong into things. We've seen this since we first met him, right? Even when he first challenged Shien to a fight, it's because he just, he hears something, he jumps. You say something, he jumps, right? He needs a tempering force, and Human was very much that person for him. But anyway, he tells them, Shien's like, look, I need you two to just chill. Let me do a little recon. I have a plan I'm formulating, but I just need you two to sit tight. He didn't even tell them to do it for weeks. He just said, sit tight for now. These boys didn't wait not but even an hour before they went to look for trouble. So that's why I said I'm not even mad. If they get their asses whooped a little bit this episode or the next episode, I'm not that mad at it. I can't be mad because the man asked you to wait like an hour and you couldn't even do that. You couldn't even do that. You ran directly into some place. And I mean, I don't know. I guess these kids are just sheltered, but these kids are running a whole racket to steal phones from like several different schools. They're stealing and chopping bikes and turning around and selling them in a matter of time. You really don't think they have cameras in the place they're doing their illegal activity? Really? In 2025? Yeah, these boys need to get out more, because the first thing I would have thought is that if no one's here actually doing security, it's because it's being watched, right? And so anyways, they clearly did not think that. I mean, In fairness, I will give Juntae his flowers in that he did several times try to tell this boy, let's go, this is not smart. Remember what Sheehan said, but Gotak didn't listen. And I mean, I get why Juntae didn't leave him because, you know, that's not what you do as a friend, but I'm leaving your ass. I'm sorry. Dealing with gangsters that have been known to be violent, I'm leaving. I'm going to go. I'm going to call the cops on you. Because if you're not going to come with me, I'm going to go. I'm going to call 911 right now and bring the cops over here and say you're trespassing and get you arrested. Because at least if you're in jail, these guys can't get you. Because what the hell? Why are you being so dumb right now? Right? But anyways, yeah, they break in and they see that that's the chop shop. And we see that Gotak sees, you know, evidence, what he perceives to be evidence to link Baekjin to all this illegal activity. But I mean, one ledger is not enough. I can tell you that right here and now. Like, that is something a lawyer can easily dismiss that. Because first of all, they broke in, right? Obtaining evidence illegally right away in most countries makes that evidence illegal. But secondly, there's nothing there that says that Na Baekjin was the person who sold this. Do you even know that this place is in Na Baekjin's name? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's going to be completely different. It's like, but I get it. They're high schoolers and they're not, sadly, not the brightest bulbs in the chandelier. So yeah, unfortunately, and again, instead of taking pictures, you think you found evidence? You both had phones. You take pictures of the evidence. You upload it immediately. You upload it to places. That's insurance for you. So in case they grab you, you've got leverage. But no, you decide to grab the whole physical copy and you try to run with it. The copy that can be stolen from you, taken from you again okay. Again, they're high schoolers. Okay. But anyways, while that shenanigan is happening, we see that Sheehan actually finally faces off with Baekjin again, right? The last time they talked, it was a very short conversation. They meet each other again, and Sheehan basically lets him know immediately that I see through you. Maybe all these guys here are impressed by your fighting skills or whatever and your math skills, but I see through you. I see that there's something that you need, and it has to be from Baku. And he's like, you can't need him for money because Baku is poor. It's not you necessarily need him for muscle because you can fight. You know, like you're good in school. You don't need him for grades. So what is it about this one guy that you're so determined to get him? Not even just the school, because you could get somebody else. You could get another lackey. Unlike the loser who got his butt kicked multiple times, he could have found another lackey to pick up where he picked up or where he left off. But that's not it. You wanted Baku specifically. Why him? And Sheehan read him like a book. He's like, because he knows you. He knows everything about you, including your weaknesses, who you really are, why you're doing this. And you think he's your friend because he knows you and he hasn't basically blown your shit up. Let's be real. I honestly think that, Baekjin thinks the fact that Baku hasn't gone and turned him in, because I'm sure long before it got to this level, Baku probably has so much dirt on this kid. He could probably get him locked up right now, but he never says anything. He leaves Baekjin to do what he wants. And I think somewhere in Baekjin's twisted head, he thinks that means that somewhere in there, Baku cares about him. And I do think he does. Like, Baku does still feel something towards Baekjin, if not just responsibility. But yeah, like as Sheehan said, it's like you think of him as a friend, and it's eating you up inside that he doesn't see you the same way. Somewhere I think in Baekjin's mind, he thinks that him and Baku are the same in what they're doing, because we saw the flashback to when they were kids, and, we saw that first that Baku stopped him from getting beaten up. And my guess is that Baku probably threw a few punches to make it stop. And then he clearly taught Baekjin how to fight, but not because he wanted him to go around hurting people. He did it because he didn't want the kid to keep getting bullied, right? He's like, he did it for self-defense. Baku doesn't really attack people. He does it for self-defense more often than not. So I believe he taught, again, he was a kid. Let's keep in mind that Baku's supposed to be, in 11th grade, 12th grade. So he's only Korean, that's 18? Yeah, I think he's supposed to be about 18. But the point is, he would have been a kid when he taught Baekjin how to fight. So he's not thinking like an adult and recognizing that there could be a problem here. He just thought he was helping a friend. And instead of him using it to defend himself, we see that eventually saw that Baekjin was just using it to hurt people. That he was just twisting all that anger and whatever else he's got going on inside of him and taking it out on kids rather than just using it when necessary to defend himself. And so when Baku tried to stop him and be like, what are you doing? You're seriously going to hurt people. His answer was, you taught me everything. This is you. Why are you stopping me? You taught me to be this way. No, he didn't. He taught you to defend yourself. But because you're angry and you feel like you're nothing, you're taking it out on other people. You took that, what he taught you, and you've twisted it and used it as a tool to take out the pain that you're clearly experiencing constantly. And you're saying that makes you and Baku the same because you both know how to fight similarly? But he knows it's different. Deep down, Baekjin knows it's different, but he's trying to convince himself they're the same. And the fact that he's doing all this, and obviously Baku has been diverging further and further away from him, the further down this dark path that Baekjin's on, Baekjin is not liking it. Because like I said, I think there's an element that Baekjin doesn't like the idea that Baku is quote unquote better than him, right? Better in the sense of morally, right? Clearly he's a better student than Baku is, and he's clearly much more financially well off. So where is this inferiority complex coming from? It has to be morally. It's got to be at that level. So anyway, I really like that Chien just called him out for it. He's like, you consider Baku your friend because, he's known you for so long and he knows you better than anyone. But does he consider you a friend? And we see as soon as he said that, Baku got visibly angry, right? Normally Baku has got his cool, calm, collected mask on. He starts shaking, his jaw clenches, he's angry. Chien has seen right through him and he hates that. So instead he decides to distract him. Then he brings back the little callback to their first meeting about how Chien basically solved his math problem for him, proving that he's smarter, or at least quicker with math. But anyways, he then shows them that, he's got the drop on Baku's friends who are being idiots at the motorcycle place. And he's basically like, yeah, you told me to separate the variables. But he's like, nah, I'm going to remove the variables. AKA, I think it drives Baekjin crazy that Baku is doing so much to protect these guys, that they're the people. I mean, they're calling them lackeys, but he can see that Baku genuinely cares about Gotak and that he genuinely cares about Juntae. Sorry, tapped the mic there. He can see that there's genuine care there, and that's not something that Baku is extending to him. He wants that kinship, he wants that closeness, but he can't have it because he refuses to change. He wants Baku to accept him the way he is. Baku's got morals. He can't do it. He won't do it. And I was really happy to hear that he didn't steal the bike either. He ended up changing his mind. But anyway, in the end, he decided to kind of show that he's willing to do whatever it takes to get Baku to stick with him, including taking out all the other things that he cares about, i.e. his friends. So anyway, we see that once he sees the bait, he has to leave, right? Because he does not want to see his friends get hurt. And he tries to fight, right? Because Baku, of course, tries to get in his way. Not Baku, sorry, Baekjin. And Chien goes for his signature move of grabbing that damn pen. And yeah, he gets blocked immediately. And I think it wasn't so much the quickness that it was blocked with. I think it was the force. One thing about Baku's fighting style, and I really love that they've shown that there's kind of a difference in the way people fight in this show, right? Like Gotak's got a very quick, light, very kick-heavy way of fighting. Baku is pure brute strength. He reminds me of like a gorilla. Like, he's not the fastest, but when he hits you, right, there's impact, right? You're not getting up from that quickly, right? So, and I feel like Baekjin's a bit of a mix of both of those, right? He's very quick. We saw that in that fight scene he had in episode 2, but he also hits hard when he wants to, right? Which I think he learned from Baku. I don't think he's enough force behind him because their builds are very different. Like Baku's a very solid kid, which is why I think that he's able to hit a lot harder. But either way, the block that he gave Chien was enough to rattle Chien. And, I think he realized very quickly, especially after his fight with Seungjae, that, okay, this guy can fight and it's not going to be probably as easy, not easy, but it's not going to be probably the way it was with Seungjae. Because Seungjae could fight too, but Seungjae was sloppy, if that makes sense. Whereas I don't think that we're going to get that with Baekjin. But anyways, thankfully, we saw that Baku showed up and stopped it from getting further. And yes, Baku, bless his heart, said, I quit this. I quit you. I'm done. We're breaking up again. I'm seriously done this time. Like, I'm not doing this. Especially, and I think that that's where Baekjin screwed up in this particular in this situation, because the way he kept trying to incentivize Baku to keep doing his dirty work was saying, hey, if you want to keep protecting the people you're protecting, you better do what I say. Oh, you want to keep protecting them, you got to do it, right? So that's why, Baku was literally dragging himself through all this. But then when he saw, when Chien again said, hey, those guys are down at the motorcycle place and this guy sent his goons to go mess them up, that's when thankfully I think it clicked for Baku that his friends were never going to be safe. right? That this guy was going to go after them regardless. He basically was never going to honor their deal. So I think once he realized that that's what it was going to come down to, he thankfully said, you know what, deuces, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to become a thief for you. I don't want to become a thug. Like, we're done. We're done here. And I love it. It's just exactly what Sheehan said. You'd think of all things. The man didn't call him a name, didn't say anything about his mama, didn't go anything personal. He just looked at Baekjin and said, let's never talk to each other. Let's never call each other again. Let's pretend we've never met. Okay, I'm going to block you. You can block me. Let's make this a clean break because, ew, I'm done with you, right? That's it. Clean break. And Baekjin, what did he do? He attacked him, tried to fight him. Baku let him get one punch off, and then after that, blocked him and kind of reminded him like, hey, we can't, I'm going to beat you. But it was really the hurt, right? You could see it in Baekjin's eyes because he knows that Baku means that he's done this time. So anyway, interesting moment, gives us a little bit more of the picture between these two. But I mean, I feel like it's still a very loose picture, but I think we get the gist that, yeah, Baekjin just wants something from Baku that Baku cannot give him while he lives this way. And Baekjin, for whatever his reasons are, refuses to walk away from this life. And it looks like he has no reason not to, right? So anyway, that's pretty much where we kind of ended things here outside of what we saw at the end of the episode, which I talked about at the beginning of the review. My boy's trying to get to the boys before anything serious happens. They're on the run, but he gets that call about Suo. And yeah, it's what decision do you make? What decision do you make, right? He loves his new friends, clearly, but Suo, as I said, the weight of what Suo means to him, and if Suo has nobody else, right? What do you do? What do you do? Right? I mean, he told those idiots to stay put, right? It's not his fault if they get beat, but we all know that he's not going to be okay with that either. So yeah, interesting crossroads. We'll have to see what he does. I mean, honestly, I don't think either decision's the wrong one. I know he cares for Suho, but Suho, if it's his time, it's his time. But on the other side of things, if he does decide to go to Suho, those boys, they didn't stay put. They kind of asked for that. So I'm not saying they should get hurt badly, by the way. I'm just saying that it's not like there was anything that Sheehan did to put them in that position. So yeah, hopefully it's a situation, I don't know, best case scenario, Sheehan gets to the hospital and Baku gets to the motorcycle club. But yeah, something big is about to happen though. They're definitely leading up to what I think we saw back in episode 1 with that big group fight, because yeah, Baekjin's not gonna take this well. And I feel like he's just gonna wanna wipe out all these variables in one shot now. So yeah, another very interesting episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I'll see you in the next one.